Hey everyone, welcome to another rapid fire review, this time for Ubisoft's Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I want to thank Manscaped for sponsoring this rapid fire review. Make sure you go to manscaped.com/angryjosho to get 20% off and a free gift. Your balls will thank you. Now, Ubisoft hasn't really been doing all that well lately. So when the opportunity for them to make a game set in an insanely popular, several billion-dollar movie universe using existing UI and game infrastructure, I'm sure they jumped at the opportunity. Much like the movies, the visuals and the world itself make a massive first impression. Exploring Pandora is actually pretty amazing. There are distinct biomes with their own sets of plant and animal life, and it just looks incredible. The bushes shake as you walk through them, the grass sways in the breeze, and there are dozens of different types of bright and wildly colored plants to let you know that you aren't in Kansas anymore. Now you can fluidly run and parkour through the landscape, leaping from tree to tree if you like, or you can run on the forest floor and grab some materials or snacks for your journey. You can befriend a horse to run through the plains, or summon your flying lizard to take to the skies. The world is worth exploring, and the player is rewarded for this exploration with side missions, encounters, rare materials, even some bits of gear or cosmetics hidden away in random places. In the different regions, you'll come into contact with different tribes of Na'vi, each with their part to play in the main story, as well as side quests, crafting, and an influence system where completing quests or clearing their areas will get you actual gear upgrades or useful crafting components. It gives you another reason to do some of the side quests and build a relationship with these tribes. Honestly, it shouldn't be noteworthy to have these systems work, but when you're accustomed to second-rate implementation from a studio, having something work as intended feels like a major win. The crafting system in the game is fully fleshed out and again well implemented. Most of the crafting recipes are kind of hidden on each merchant for some stupid reason though, but they're free, so just seek them out. The crafted weapons are also a bit stronger than the ones you'll find in chests or can purchase, so it's worth doing a bit of hunting and gathering if you enjoy that sort of thing like I do. Though there are plenty of found or purchased weapons that will get you close if you don't. Some of the most fun I had in the game was seeing I was only a super rare component or a few bits of influence away from building what would be a major upgrade. So I'd jump on Carol, my flying lizard mount, and scour the land for what I needed. The material logs show you roughly where each thing can be found, the map allows you to check the different biomes as well, and then once you flag the materials you're looking for, your Na'vi Batman vision can help you pinpoint the specific location. Now most of the basic materials you'll find growing in open, high-traffic spots, and you have to do a little mini-game for harvesting. But the rare ones will have you seeking out plants in hidden caves or hunting reclusive animals in weird places. Or even will have you being hunted by apex predators that turn into mini-boss fights. The weapons in the game, you have a melee attack, short bow, long bow, and a heavy bow. There's a lacrosse stick for throwing grenades, a spear launcher, and an assault rifle and shotgun. I found my favorites pretty quickly, and was able to use just 2 or 3 weapons all the way through the end of the game, though there are times in the game where you'll need to use pretty much all of them just because you get low on ammo. Each weapon and armor piece has mod slots for some additional customization options. While there are lots of options, you really only have a few choices. Most of the mods are kinda bad, or just have a very narrow use, so just equipping increased damage to humans is what I imagine most people will do. The combat experience is very hit or miss. I enjoyed it quite a bit when it worked, and when it didn't, it was so horrid I would have stopped playing the game altogether if I wasn't reviewing it. When you can play as the stealthy Na'vi hunter sneaking in, silently assassinating people, hacking the systems, or causing chaos with the high density of exploding barrels in each base, it's a great time, and it feels very cinematic. If I saw small camps or refineries in an area I was in, I'd usually drop what I was doing and raid them just to seek out that experience. Clearing out the bases in stealth does take a little bit longer, but you get far better loot in the end, which is also a nice reward. The problem is that's not always how the experience will play out, and some direct combat is bound to happen. The enemy AI is a very good shot, and you will die very quickly when they shoot you, which is actually fine, and it's thematic. You really aren't supposed to be standing there in little more than a loincloth getting shot in the chest by giant mechs. The enemies often have sight of you even when you take cover and move, sometimes even base-wide, which really ruined a lot of the combat experience for me. I was enjoying popping up and pinning a dude to a wall with a 5-foot-long arrow, and then ducking away and moving to do it again. Utilizing the hit-and-run tactics you'd expect in an Avatar game. But for huge portions of the game, the second an enemy sees you, the entire base knows your position. Now, I want to be clear. They don't just know that they're being attacked. Every enemy in the base knows your exact position. Even if you take cover and move 50 feet while outside of their view, they lob grenades exactly onto your position. If you run into the forest and go hide in the trees, they will throw grenades onto the branch you're sitting in. If you wanted to reposition and peek to take a shot from an entirely new area, the enemies would be pre-firing before your face even cleared the rocks. Now, it's not insurmountable, it's just kind of shitty. But the real problems came with the combat bugs. Mission areas would be restricted with a leaving quest area message, and of course all of the mission targets would be outside of that area. If you wandered too far outside, you instantly died and had to restart. Now, ultimately, it became an easy fix. All I had to do was die to an enemy to reset the encounter and start over. But that meant redoing the hour or so of sneaking around and stealth killing everyone in the base. The worst of the bugs was during two very long and difficult missions at the end of the game. During these encounters, if a single enemy spots you, all of the enemies on the level, no matter how far away they are, could be in the same room, outside the building, in the building next door, on the other side of the mountain, all of them shoot you. Now, I had experienced this kind of chain aggro before in other missions. The real fun here was that these missions had enemies that could shoot through walls, and metal boxes, and stone pillars, and buildings, and even the entire fucking mountain. And these missions aren't 100% stealth encounters. These required open and direct combat utilizing cover with several dozen mechs and soldiers. Dying certainly didn't fix it. I did that quite a bit. Relogging didn't fix it, and even reinstalling the game didn't work. Eventually, I had to find the shortest path outside of the facility, and I attempted to sneak and sprint my way out. And it died several dozen times doing so. It just didn't work. For the first half of this game, I had been deeply immersed into the world of Pandora, and systems and gameplay. And then for the rest of the game, I was brutally reminded that this is still an Ubisoft title, and 4.37 light years away isn't far enough to escape the massive black hole of suck that is Ubisoft. The story of the game is about as safe and basic as can be. And it fits, since that's really what the movies are. They risked nothing, they accomplished nothing, and, you know, I was kind of fine with it because it's better than it being bad. Speaking of which, the characters are written by people that apparently have nothing but contempt for the audience. You, as a simple-minded video game consumer, don't deserve nuance, or complexity, in behavior or dialogue. You get good guys are good because good is good, and the bad guys are bad, real bad. The bad is bad, you stupid fucking gamer idiot. The bad guy faction, which is pretty much all humans outside of the small handful in the Resistance, they kidnap, torture, and murder children for oil. They trap, mutilate, torture, and kill animals for trophies and fun. They talk about genocide as a great weekend activity, and they laugh on how the forest is easy to burn down, and they even remind each other to murder a blue every day. They might as well have evil tattooed on their forehead. Now, I imagine there's 2 or 3 people that took some solace in the humans being cartoonish, evil dickheads, so they didn't feel weird killing all of them. But honestly, there's a pretty big emphasis on the choice to kill or not built into the game. You can absolutely minimize the amount of killing you do as the main character. Most missions just involve blowing up equipment or hacking terminals, and no one needs to die in order to accomplish that. So you as the player could have chosen to be a genocidal smurf or a friendly smurf. But who am I kidding? Again, I forget where this game came from. In the end, I actually had more fun with Pandora than I thought I was going to. The world is absolutely worth exploring. It has a great hunter-gatherer system that feeds well into a developed crafting system that's actually worth tinkering with. Your character continues to develop with skill trees and gear that allow the player to customize throughout the game. Its faults lie in the average at best story, piss-poor characters and dialogue, inconsistent combat experience, and absolutely insane bugs. I'm going to give Avatar Frontiers of Pandora a 7 out of 10, which is the good game score. It got more right than it got wrong, and maybe some of the bugs have or will get patched out, so your experience could be better than my own. But as I played it, it can't go higher than that. Now, is $70 worth the 20 to 30 hours of content? Not for me. You'll have to make up your own mind if that's something that you want to do, but I signed up for Ubisoft Plus for 1 month, so I got to play the game for $15, and I definitely feel that that's the best way to play Frontiers of Pandora. Just don't forget to cancel the subscription afterwards. It only takes 3 clicks and 10 seconds to do. Thanks so much for watching this Rapid Fire, and we shall see you on the next Angry Joe Show.